everyone. I've got my top 10 most anticipated films of 2020, and I know that there are so many movies that I am looking forward to seeing, and I had to make a list, and there are no honorable mentions here. So these are definitely my most anticipated films that I am guaranteed to see when they hit theaters this year. So I hope I'm not going to be seeing some release dates being pushed back. So I just can't wait to see when all these movies come out. Without any further ado, my number 10 most anticipated film of 2020, it is for Black Widow. Now, I know a lot of people were clearly disappointed in my trailer reaction to this movie because, yeah, I'm not entirely looking forward to seeing it because I feel like her story obviously was completed in Avengers Endgame, but now we're going back in time to see sort of her origin. I'm thinking it is a long time coming that Marvel has finally decided to make her solo film, but I don't know. I mean, I am still curious to see what is all going to happen because there were some things about the trailer that I did enjoy, but I just want to see what this movie has to offer and if it truly is worth it as people are making it out to be. For my number 9 most anticipated film of 2020, it is for Bill and Ted Face the Music. Now, this is the next installment in the Bill and Ted franchise starring Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter, and I think it's really cool that it's been so long since we had seen Bill and Ted. Oh, these guys are back in action and they're ready to give the fans exactly what they have most likely been waiting for. So I think this will be a really fun movie, and I hope it's as good as well. So I definitely can't wait to see this when it comes out. For my number 8 most anticipated film of 2020, it is for the West Side Story remake, being directed by Steven Spielberg and starring Ansel Elgort. Now, I think it's really crazy and pretty bold to even make a new version of West Side Story, considering the first movie is kind of a classic at this point. And even though, you know, I love Steven Spielberg as a director, I'm really curious to see, how this movie is going to be received. But also, I want to go in enjoying the music and the dancing and the choreography and the set pieces and everything. And hopefully the acting is also pretty good as well, because I had no idea that Ansel Elgort could sing. I can't wait to see that when it comes out later this year. For my number 7 most anticipated film of 2020, it is for Godzilla vs. Kong. Now, of course, we had the first Godzilla reboot come out, and then when we saw the Kong Skull Island movie, and then Godzilla had a sequel, and now we're finally getting the Clash of the Titans movie that we so rightfully deserve to see on the big screen. Who's going to come out on top? I really hope it's the king of the monsters himself, Godzilla, even though I love King Kong, but this one is truly going to be a dominating film at the theater, so I really hope it is as good as I'm feeling it could be. For my number 6 most anticipated film of 2020, it is for Death on the Nile. Now, this is the sequel to Murder on the Orient Express, and that had a really big cast of particularly well-known actors, and this one is also looking to be the same. You've got Kenneth Branagh back as director. I am definitely looking forward to seeing this movie and the next outing for Kenneth Branagh's detective, and I just can't wait to see what kind of shenanigans all of these characters are going to get themselves into this time. For my number 5 most anticipated film of 2020, it is for Disney's Mulan live action movie. I am really looking forward to seeing this movie because it just looks so culturally appropriate and it's really fitting with the time period. And even though it looks like it's straying away from the animated film, I feel like there are going to be some nods to that movie here, all the while making it look really authentic and beautiful, and I really can't wait to see how well this movie is going to turn out. For my number 4 most anticipated film of 2020, it is for No Time to Die. Now, this is going to be Daniel Craig's last outing as James Bond, and I am looking forward to seeing how this is all going to come to an end because, of course, I've loved his take as James Bond ever since Casino Royale came out. And even though I wasn't a huge fan of the last James Bond movie that he was in, Spectre, I feel like I have a feeling like this movie is just going to be his last hurrah. It's going to go all out with a bang, and especially with a pretty good cast lined up in this movie, I am really looking forward to seeing what direction it's going to go in. So I hope it's just going to be one big action-packed movie to watch at the theater. So I can't wait to see what happens when it comes out. For my number 3 most anticipated film of 2020, it is for Tenet. Now, for the longest time when I first heard the title to Christopher Nolan's latest film, I was thinking, okay, how the heck do you pronounce this movie? Is it Tenet, like it's French, or is it Tenet? And I kind of think it's 10-10. Oh, like 10 and then 10 backwards, like a mirror image, which is literally looking like how this movie is going to be. I mean, it's very Inception-esque. I mean, when the trailer came out, I was really excited. And not really knowing much else about this movie other than it looks really good with the cast and the effects and just everything about it. I obviously am a huge fan of Christopher Nolan's work, so of course I'm going to see this movie when it comes out, and I also hope that it's going to be really good in the end. For my number 2 most anticipated film of 2020, it is for Top Gun Maverick. Now, I definitely have the need for speed with this movie because Tom Cruise, of course, is back as Maverick in this movie since the first Top Gun movie came out, and it's looking better than ever. I mean, I know that he can kick ass as Ethan Hunt in those Mission Impossible movies, but when he is literally once again doing his own stunts in this movie, I mean, this guy is just absolutely crazy when it comes to his work ethic. But I really believe that this movie is just going to be as action-packed and exciting as the trailer made it out to be. I am definitely planning on seeing it on the biggest screen possible, so I'm really hoping that the story is also worth watching this movie for, and that it really lives up to that long-awaited sequel that we all have been looking forward to seeing. For my number 1 most anticipated film of 2020, it is for Wonder Woman 1984. Now, this is a sequel that I feel like, wow, it might end up being a game changer for the DCEU. One, because it just looked absolutely exciting in the trailer. Of course, I am a huge fan and always have been a huge supporter of Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. And now to see her once again shine in this movie, I feel like it's going to be just a really awesome, fun time. And who doesn't love the 80s? And maybe seeing Kristen Wiig pull off a villain role with Cheetah will also be a feast for the eyes, and I hope not a huge CGI fest like certain DC movies have been in the past. But maybe DC is finally changing their ways and choosing to go in this bright colored a new direction, so I hope it is worth it because it comes out this summer and it will just be a nice time to see this movie. That was my list of my top 10 most anticipated films of 2020, and I hope to not be disappointed by any of these movies. And once again, you guys can let me know what your guys' top 10 most anticipated films of the year are. And as always, you guys can subscribe to my channel. I've got more movie reviews, movie updates, come back every week for a Chill Thursday video. You guys can also like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter, and I will see you guys later.